Ooh, yeah. Up. Come on. Up. Yeah. Up. Come on. Oh, you're a lazy boy. Yeah. You be a good boy. Oh, that's good. All right. Welcome to Wayne's Weird World. It's a nice spring morning. Not quite summer, but getting close. Now, what do you do for potting mix? Well, different orchids have different needs. They go all the way from the terrestrials, the Pleiades, just a good open potting mix. Keikis, it's a little bit loose. Sphagnum moss, living Tasmanian sphagnum moss. Coarse pine bark. Well, actually, it's sort of a medium pine bark. So, what do you do when it's all left over? Now, this is man fern and everything else that I've chopped up. There's charcoal in there, perlite, all good stuff. But at the end of the day, you're going to have leftover potting mix after they die, or you repot. I always repot into fresh mix. What do you do with the other stuff? Throw it away? Nah. So, there's different ways to do it, or to deal with it. Now, this is what I do with my tea leaves. Well, not all of it. Get out of there. There's old sphagnum moss and everything else. I mix it all up, and I put it around fruit trees. Ah, there's a little dead fishy, whitebait. And then it all gets mixed up, ends up back in the garden. I don't use any of it without sterilizing it for my orchids. And the simplest way to, what's that? The simplest way to sterilize it is steam, baking it. Now, small batches you can do in the oven. Large batches, I saw one in a nursery. It was like a giant cement mixer, and it had a screw down lid, and they'd inject steam, which is a typical way of sterilizing it. Cheers. But at the end of the day, you just need to look after your orchids. Big cymbidiums, the larger the orchid, the larger the particle size. The smaller the orchid, the finer the mix. Keikis, sphagnum moss. When I'm preparing mounts, pure sphagnum moss, and that's it. Just remember, keep them well drained. They don't like wet feet, in particular in the winter when it's a bit cold. They will rot. That's it. Wayne's Weird World. See you next time.